My name is H.A. Goodman. I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read all my writing, go to counterpropa.com. To support this YouTube channel, go to my Patreon link below. Share this segment with anyone who thinks that Trump-Russia might impeach Trump, or with anyone who wants to know just how insane the Trump-Russia investigation has become. Jay Sekulow, Trump's attorney, completely destroys Chris Wallace of Fox News. He does so, and I'm saying this from the vantage point of a Bernie Sanders supporter and Jill Stein voter and Bernie Sanders voter whom the Democratic Party cheated. When you talk about Bernie Sanders in 2016, you talk about how Trump won. The Democratic Party elevated Donald Trump, and they cheated Bernie Sanders, the only person who could have defeated Trump. Now they're backpedaling and trying to paint a Trump-Russia narrative in the hopes of impeaching Trump. They haven't found a crime. Number one, there's no specific crime that he's accused of or being investigated of. Number two, Trump-Russia collusion is not a crime. It's just a vague term. They're trying to find some evidence to impeach him, and yet there's no direct evidence. When James Comey, Adam Schiff, Dianne Feinstein, Maxine Waters, James Clapper are asked, do you have any direct evidence of a crime or any direct evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, not just with Trump, with anyone he's associated with? No, there's no direct evidence. But now we get to Jay Sekulow and Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace is essentially another type of MSNBC's Rachel Maddow. Same type of interviewer / quote-unquote journalist, whatever you want to call them. Here is the exchange, and it's just so ridiculous. Here's how it starts off.
The president that he is under investigation. The president has not been notified by anyone that he's under investigation. That tweet, Chris, was in response to the Washington Post story that alleged that 5 unnamed sources, anonymous sources, leaked to the Washington Post that the president was in fact under investigation. So that tweet was in response to that. There's been no notification of any investigation. Nothing's changed since James Comey said the president was not a target or a subject of investigation. Nothing's changed. Well, but you don't know that he isn't.
But you don't know that he isn't? Then you start with the ridiculous Chuck Todd. Well, you know, James Clapper, I know that you just answered the question saying there's no direct evidence, but do you know that there isn't, or the possibility of there being direct evidence? Is it possible that there is direct evidence? So their questions are answered directly. Jay Sekulow says, Trump has never been notified by Robert Mueller. If there's indeed an investigation, why doesn't Robert Mueller simply say, you're under investigation for obstruction of a crime that we don't know you committed, or that we can't even accuse you of? Fox News, MSNBC, everybody will have us all believe that Trump is under investigation for a crime they've yet to accuse him of, and for a narrative that they don't have direct evidence of. This is how insane it is. So when Chris Wallace is given the rightful answer, which is Trump was never, he's never notified. There was no notification of obstruction of justice. Firing James Comey, President Obama should have fired James Comey, because James Comey had no right to say, well, no reasonable prosecutor, even though Clinton committed all these crimes under the Espionage Act. Hillary Clinton was the target and subject of a criminal investigation where she deliberately and intentionally put top secret information, special access program intelligence, on an unencrypted server. It was unencrypted for 3 months, according to Forbes and Fortune magazines. That is a crime under the Espionage Act, and there's multiple crimes that she committed. Destroying evidence, shipping a laptop in the mail, all of these things. It's beyond reason how she's not indicted, or how she wasn't indicted. Then James Comey talked about Loretta Lynch obstructing justice in a criminal probe where crimes were committed, where a person is under the FBI criminal investigation pertaining to the Espionage Act and top secret information. That was an actual criminal investigation that wasn't even investigated by the FBI. James Comey, Loretta Lynch, and everybody there, including President Obama, covered that up. Now they're backtracking, and Chris Wallace is completely destroyed. I will leave you the link. It's ibankcoin.com. There's a number of links on YouTube, but I'll just leave you this one. Then he gets into this childish, juvenile, oh, but you just said, I just caught you. This is Chris Wallace. I just caught you right now. You said Trump was under investigation. He's not formally under investigation. what Sekulow was saying was, hypothetically, if he were, and then he goes on to give his own viewpoint. Then, just like everyone, just like Democrats in Congress, they will not stop until they hear Trump fired Comey because Comey was right about to get information on Trump working with the Fuzzy Bear Russian hacking network, and oh my God, he was fired and he was obstructing justice, and Trump actually did work with the Russians. That's what they want to hear. So now it's, well, you know, what was the conversation? What were the conversations? Why won't you tell us the presidential conversations? What about the conversations between Attorney General Lynch and President Obama, or President Obama and James Comey, or Hillary Clinton and James Comey, or Hillary Clinton and President Obama during the email investigation, or or before the email investigation, when President Obama, number one, we know that Cheryl Mills stated that he knew that Clinton was using a private server, and that Mills actually warned Clinton, according to Podesta, not to run because of the email issue. And then you have President Obama lying and saying that, well, you know, he didn't know, he learned with alongside everybody else. Trump is not going to get impeached by this. What he needs to do is help out the Democratic Party, or help out progressives, or if you disagree with me, Hillary Clinton still controls the Democratic Party. Well, people say, oh, she's not relevant anymore. Yes, she is. We're talking about Trump, Russia. It's June 19th. It's because she lost. People can't get it in their minds that in 2015, I wrote in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, and the YouTube link is below. Share it everywhere. I stated that she was unelectable due to favorability ratings. This is even before everything we learned from WikiLeaks DNC emails, that the DNC cheated Bernie Sanders. And now Jared and Elizabeth Beck are championing that lawsuit to get the hundreds of millions of dollars they stole. But this is the most dysfunctional interview, and it's Chris Wallace is like the biggest, like, it's an insult to children to say he was childish. It's the most ridiculous, oh my God, I caught you. You said that he was under investigation. Sekulow, you heard it stated in a straightforward manner, in a very direct manner. The Washington Post story was based on 5 anonymous sources. The tweet was a tweet based on that story, and it wasn't a confirmation. Trump's tweets aren't confirmations of anything. They're tweets on Twitter. They're not legally binding when it comes to the Trump-Russia probe. Give me your thoughts below. Why doesn't Chris Wallace find some direct evidence of Trump writing a check to the Fuzzy Bear or Russian Bear hacking network? There's no direct evidence. Why doesn't Chris Wallace or Rachel Maddow or any of them actually accuse Trump of a specific crime and then link that to a specific law? Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so much for listening.